Hi and welcome to Westpac London's end of day report for Tuesday 27th of September. Well, it's been a real continuation of the European policymakers pull the finger out trade with no clear developments on the policy front being announced in Europe, just a sense amongst investors and indeed commentators, I suppose, that European policymakers are working on plans to limit the worst of possible downside from the likely default of Greece, or even perhaps working to prevent the default of the Greek government. We don't think that's possible, but nevertheless that's the view that investors have taken. And it's been despite commentary, for example, from the European Investment Bank saying that they don't know anything about being involved in, for example, the leveraging up of the European Stability Fund. So there's been not a lot of clear policy comment to drive markets. It's just an expectation that with, particularly with Treasury Secretary Geithner of the US and Obama making comments and trying to prod European policymakers to do something, there's just this sense that amongst investors that something is being done. I think also there's a view that the valuation of European stocks in particular has fallen so far so quickly that maybe actually there is a bit of value in there, and so that's helped magnify the extent of buying that's taken place. On the data front today, we had pretty much no change in consumer confidence in the US after falling, in September, after falling very steeply in August. We had a 4.1% fall in house prices in the year to July, pretty much unchanged from the over the last few months, though, on a monthly basis. The prices are still down on an annual basis. There's a view that the slower pace of banks foreclosing on mortgages has actually helped stabilise prices in the last few months. And we had a weak retail survey out of the UK. But other than that, really it was just this sense that European policymakers might be doing something, although we don't know what for sure, that's been pushing markets higher. And so to give you some numbers on that, listen to this, pretty big gains. I mean, the FTSE's up 4% today. The French market is up 5.7%. This is at just approaching 5 o'clock, so just as the European markets are closing. German market's up 5.3% today, and so far the Dow in the US up 2.3%. We're looking at 11,298, the level of the Dow as I'm speaking. And this positive sentiment has flowed through to commodity markets with a 5% gain in copper prices, a 4.2% rise in oil, back above back above $80. This is $83.67 a barrel at the moment, and the gold price is up 3.6% at $652 an ounce. The Aussie's gained about 2 cents today. It's at 99.6 US cents. Hasn't hit parity, or hasn't gone back through parity yet in London trading, but certainly getting reasonably close to parity with the US dollar. That's about it. Short and sharp, nothing much else to say. No Aussie data to look forward to during the Australian session. So I'll just leave it there and speak to you again tomorrow.